In the future, a young man with a katana is perishing and laments that his life had only just started. In the present, Takeru Kusanagi attends an anti-magic academy, a training school for inquisitors, soldiers who prevent witches from destroying the world. Takeru wields a katana as a weapon and is often mocked for it by his fellow students. He's also the captain of the 35th Test Platoon, the worst team in the school, consisting of himself, Usagi, a sniper who suffers from stage after Takeru trips over a stray bullet and accidentally touches her. He's knocked out by a sniper shot from usually criticizes their flaws. When she tries to go on a mission alone, Takeru insists on purchase the artifact. Upon discovering a girl used as a human sacrifice, Oka attempts to clap the gunman they had just arrested, but is stopped by Takeru. She reveals a witch finished her parents and sister, so she hates both witches and magic. However, he promises to one violet eyes. Takeru then remembers how Oka beat him in a war game in their first year. A young Valhalla witch, Mary, meets with necromancer and alchemist Haunted, who had just failed gun infused with the magic of Excalibur, and orders it to free witches held prisoner under the Relic Eater. Unwillingly uses magic to summon twin pistols named Vlad, with which she has a temper, healing his wounds and transforming into a powerful suit of witch hunter armor with an indestructible sword with a special skill to absorb an enemy's magic and then uses it against them. Takeru thus absorbs the power from Excalibur and defeats the Einherjar in a single move, impressing the nearby Haunted. He then reassures Oka she isn't alone anymore before collapsing from exhaustion with his head in her lap, which Oka admits isn't that bad. The chairman meets the imprisoned witch Mary, who's suffering from magical amnesia, and makes her an academy student, hoping to use her as bait to draw out Valhalla. At the academy, the chairman explains Lapis is a sword-type relic and chose Takeru for his sword skills and has enrolled as a member of 35th Platoon under the alias of Takeru's sister. He then orders the platoon to guard Mary. However, Oka is outraged at having to keep a witch safe. Mary is then outfitted with a Gleipnir necklace that will explode if she uses magic. The two immediately fight with each other, which gets worse as they compete in class, with Oka being more physically capable and Mary being more intellectually capable. Takeru doesn't care. Mary is a witch and treats her like a member of the team, but she expresses her desire to use magic to help people. Elsewhere, Haunted, who's obsessed with Mary, recalls how she only agreed to work for him if he didn't destroy innocent people, following which he had finished academy students before erasing her memory and framing her for the crime. Meanwhile, Takeru stops Oka and Mary from fighting, only for Oka to realize that he's already calling Mary by her first name, so the girls start a new fight by now attempting to make each other jealous. Usagi enters them in a mock battle tournament against the other academy platoons. Mary is told to live with Takeru, secretly the chairman's plot to make her an easy target for Valhalla, and the jealous Oka insists on living with both of them to keep Mary from possibly baiting Takeru, but is terrified when his apartment appears to be haunted. An incident with Oka being scared by a ghost in the shower ends with both girls on top of Takeru, for which he's punished. Mary then tells Takeru she's worried how being a witch makes her too different from her human teammates. Later, the platoon struggle in the first round of the mock battle until Mary surprises everybody by using herself as a decoy, allowing them to win. Oka grudgingly admits they would have lost without her, which embarrasses Mary. Ikaruga is thrilled that Mary is the tsundere member of the team. The platoon celebrate their victory with the exception of Oka, who delivers a report to the chairman only to learn Mary was a member of Valhalla and was accused of murder. The next day, Takeru is confident Mary and Oka could be good friends someday. Meanwhile, Mary has memory flashes that make her worried she might have been evil. So Takeru assures her he'd find a way to make her good again. Afterwards, Oka tells him that Mary was accused of murder, but too many details don't add up. During the second round of the mock battles, Haunted destroys 2 students and multiple soldiers before claiming he's only there to rescue Mary, trapping himself and the 35th Platoon behind a magic barrier. Haunted then reveals his twisted love for Mary and announces his intention to finish her. Suddenly, Takeru activates his Relic Eater and attacks, but Haunted is a more skilled swordsman and stabs him in the chest, which Lapis manages to heal. Ikaruga wakes up the unconscious Usagi by insulting her large chest, though one of her eyes is injured. Meanwhile, Oka manages to contact the chairman and threatens to expose him for arresting Mary for murder when evidence proved the murders were committed by Haunted's despair magic, whereas Mary can only use auroral magic, so the chairman offers her a deal to keep quiet. Lapis then explains Haunted is using the legendary weapon Dainsleif. As such, Haunted removes Mary's amnesia spell, causing her to remember that he kidnapped her friends from an orphanage and promised to keep them safe as long as she worked for Valhalla. He offers to let her see her friends if she leaves with him. As Mary is about to do so, Takeru, having seen through Haunted's lies, tells Mary that her friends are dead, which Haunted confirms. While Takeru duels Haunted, Mary angrily casts a spell at Haunted but misses. As her necklace is about to explode from her using magic, it suddenly deactivates, which Oka reveals was part of her deal with the chairman since Mary has been innocent. Oka and Usagi, who had taken this long to aim her rifle with her injured eye, distract Haunted so Mary can cast an extremely powerful spell, but misses again. However, she had actually been aiming at Takeru, who absorbed the spell into his sword and uses it to defeat Haunted. He then reveals he knows Takeru is from a clan of demon hunters before disappearing into a portal. Finally, Takeru collapses from exhaustion as the magical barrier disappears. Mary tearfully thanks him for keeping her safe and is happy she met him. After the ordeal, Mary becomes an official academy student before once again fighting with Oka, this time about chest size. Due to Usagi's poor grades, her mother announces plans to bring forward the date of her arranged marriage. Later, the academy begins its witch hunting festival where students can earn extra credit and money. Takeru immediately signs up the 35th platoon to take part, as his parents left him with large debts and his little sister to support, so he's desperate for money. Meanwhile, Usagi decides not to tell her friends that she's leaving. She then bumps into Rima, the organizer of the festival, and also her cruel arranged fiancé who thinks of her as his property, causing her to have a panic attack. Takeru comforts her and promises to help her before she passes out from fear. Oka is summoned to meet the youthful-looking student council president Nagaru, who wants her help dealing with a legendary witch, Mephistopheles, who can break people's minds. At the hospital, Takeru stays with Usagi as even in her sleep, she won't let go of his hand. Nagaru believes Rima is somehow linked to Mephistopheles as his transfer to the academy coincided with the finishing of several students, including one who had her mind broken. Usagi then tells Takeru about Rima, so he invites her to spend the night at his apartment. She believes that he plans to get her pregnant so she can't marry and eventually decides it's a great idea. Although Takeru had planned no such thing, they almost kiss when she tries to bait him in his living room. However, they're interrupted by the girls who, in fits of jealousy, punish Takeru severely for not trying to bait them as well. He then asks the girls to help save Usagi by raising her grades enough so that she can stay in school. As such, they plan to do well in the festival and earn enough extra credit for her to raise her grades. Meanwhile, Ikaruga plans a cosplay event for the festival, embarrassing everybody. Eventually, Oka notices Rima has had white symbols painted over the school. He then reveals Usagi clapped her own brother and is an outcast in her own family. Meanwhile, Takeru swears to protect Usagi, so Rima counters by saying he'll take her away. Oka then uses her relic Eater Vlad to see that the white paint is actually a giant magic circle designed to control people's minds. After President Nagaru realizes her subordinate Shizuka has had her mind broken and they both draw their guns. Shizuka, having survived, reveals to Oka she's Mephistopheles and with Rima's help, possesses Oka, who quickly deactivates Mira's Gleipnir necklace, allowing her to use magic again. Nagaru, who had also survived, informs Takeru. Mephistopheles then struggles to control Oka's body as she's a relic eater and her soul refuses to die. Nagaru tells Takeru the academy has Mephisto's original body, which she wants back. So Lapis locates Usagi in the academy church and Takeru rushes to save her while Mira deals with the magic circle. However, she wakes up to Rima planning to for her their wedding night, so she fights back, hitting him in the neck. Furious, he tries to clap her, but Takeru breaks in and saves her. Then, Usagi leaves to help Mary while a furious Takeru faces Rima. Usagi retrieves a rifle belonging to her grandfather and is given 2 special bullets by Ikaruga that will destroy Mephistopheles' soul. While Mary deals with the spell, Mephistopheles almost hits her until Usagi stops her. As she curses Usagi with a lust spell, every boy nearby to go for her. Meanwhile, Takeru easily beats Rima, exposing him as a coward. Mephisto almost shoots Mary again but is stopped by Takeru. Mephisto then reveals she can summon and control Oka's relic Eater, but Usagi arrives and is tricked by Mephisto by claiming that Takeru is actually Mephisto, resulting in a 3-way standoff as she's unsure whom to hit. Oka's soul resurfaces and fights to regain her body. Now certain, Usagi shoots Oka, expelling Mephisto, then uses the second bullet to shoot her directly, destroying her soul. Mary then succeeds in stopping the spell. Later, the platoon's cosplay cafe is a disaster as the girls' personalities drive the customers away. It's then revealed that Usagi's engagement is cancelled and is finally able to stay at school. Takeru rewards her by patting her head, just like she wanted him to. Afterwards, the chairman receives information about the Lost Matrix and decides to talk to Ikaruga about her family.